A woman who runs the neighborhood tried to steal my swimming pool. She said it belonged to everyone. I had papers that proved it was mine. She did not listen. So I made a big choice. I drained the entire pool the night before she could take it. Here is what happened next. Before you watch full story, comment below from which country are you watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more amazing stories. My name is Michael Johnson, and I am going to tell you about the worst time in my life. This is a true story about how a woman named Karen tried to steal my pool, and how I had to do something very big to stop her. Before I tell you about the bad times, I want to tell you about the good times. I grew up in a small town. My father was a hard-working man. He worked in a factory for 40 years. My mother was a teacher. She taught children to read and write. I learned from my parents that if you work hard, you can have good things in life. You can buy a house. You can have nice things. You can be happy. When I was 25 years old, I got a job as an engineer. I worked very hard. I saved money for 10 years. I saved money in the bank. I saved money in my home. I did not buy expensive things. I did not go to fancy restaurants. I did not go on expensive vacations. I just saved my money. When I was 35 years old, I had saved $150,000. This was a lot of money for me. I was very proud of this money. I had worked for every dollar. Nobody gave me this money. I earned it myself. With this money, I bought a house. The house was in a neighborhood called Pine Valley Heights. It was a beautiful neighborhood with 200 houses. All the houses were nice. All the streets were clean. There were trees everywhere. There were parks for children. It was a very good place to live. My house was a yellow house with a big backyard. The backyard was very big, maybe 1/4 of an acre. I loved this backyard. I could see the sky from my backyard. I could see the trees. I could see the birds flying. It made me very happy to have this big backyard. 1 year after I bought the house, I decided to put a swimming pool in the backyard. I had always wanted a swimming pool since I was a little boy. My grandmother had a small pool, and I loved to swim in it. Now I was going to have my own pool. I got 3 different companies to give me prices for the pool. The first company said $15,000. The second company said $16,000. The third company said $14,500. I chose the third company because the price was the lowest. The company built the pool in the summer. They came with big machines. They dug a big hole in the ground. They put concrete on the bottom and the sides. They put pipes in for the water to come in and go out. They put a filter so the water stays clean. It took them 2 weeks to build the pool. When the pool was done, it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. It was rectangular, maybe 30 feet long and 15 feet wide. It had a deep end and a shallow end. The water was light blue. The concrete around the pool was white. There were trees around the pool that gave shade. It was like a little piece of heaven in my backyard. I paid the company $14,500. I gave them a check. I also paid for the pool equipment, the pump, the filter, and the chemicals. I paid for everything. I have all the receipts. I have the invoice from the company. I have the payment records. I have everything that shows that I own this pool. I have the deed to my house. The deed says that my property is 1/4 acre. The deed says that the pool is on my property. The deed says that I own everything on my property. The pool is on my property, so I own the pool. This is very simple. This is the law. Everything was good for 4 years. The neighborhood was nice. The HOA was nice. The HOA president before was a man named David Chen. David was a fair man. David did his job, but he did not make trouble. David was reasonable. David understood that people have different ideas about how to live their lives. David was the HOA president for 4 years. Then, in the spring, David said he was too busy. He said he had a new job. He said he did not have time to be the HOA president anymore. So David said he would not be the president anymore. The HOA had an election. There were 3 people who wanted to be president. One was a man named Tom. One was a woman named Sarah. One was a woman named Karen. Tom said he would keep things the way they are. Tom said he would not make the rules more strict. Tom said he would help people. Sarah said she would make some small changes. Sarah said she would paint the community center. Sarah said she would fix some roads. Karen said she would make the rules very strict. Karen said she would make everyone follow the rules perfectly. Karen said she would be tough. Karen said she would not let people break any rules, no matter how small. I did not vote for Karen. I voted for Tom. But many people voted for Karen. They thought she would be a good leader. They thought she would make the neighborhood better. Karen won the election. She got 55 votes out of 130 votes. Tom got 40 and Sarah got 35. So Karen became the new HOA president. Karen was very excited. She started her job right away. She started to send letters to people about their houses. She told one man his grass was too long. She told one woman her trash cans were in the wrong place. She told one family their children's toys were making the yard look messy. Most people did not like this. They thought Karen was too strict. But Karen did not care what people thought. She thought she was doing a good job. It was June when Karen first came to my house about the pool. June is a hot month. The sun is very hot. The pool was very full of water. The water was very cold and very nice. I was in the backyard on a Saturday morning. I was cleaning the pool. I was using a long net to get leaves out of the water. The water was very blue and very clean. I was very happy. I was thinking that I would have some friends over to swim later. Karen walked through my gate without asking. She just walked in. I was surprised. I did not know that she was coming. I had not invited her to my house. "Hello Karen," I said. I was trying to be nice. "What can I do for you?" "Michael," Karen said, "I have some questions about your pool." "Okay," I said. "What questions do you have?" "First," Karen said, "I want to know if you got permission from the HOA to build this pool." "No," I said. "I did not need to get permission. This is my house. This is my property. The pool is in my backyard. The pool is my property. I do not need to get permission from the HOA to do things with my own property." "That is where you are wrong," Karen said. "The HOA has rules about what you can do with your property. You need to get permission for big changes like a pool." "Karen," I said, "I built the pool 4 years ago. You were not even the HOA president then." David was the HOA president. I did not ask David for permission, and he never said I needed permission. The pool is my property. The pool is my house. The pool is part of my house. David was too soft, Karen said. David did not make people follow the rules. I am different. I am going to make everyone follow the rules. But the rules do not say I need permission for a pool, I said. Karen looked at me with a mean look. She said, "The rules say that all big changes need to be approved by the HOA. The pool is a big change. You needed permission. You did not get permission. You broke the rules." "I am sorry you feel that way," I said, "but I think you are wrong. I think the pool is okay. I think I do not need permission." "We will see about this," Karen said. She looked at the pool very carefully. She looked at the sides of the pool. She looked at the equipment. She looked at everything. "This pool is very big," she said. "This pool takes up a lot of space. This pool is using a lot of water. This pool is not good for the neighborhood." "Why is it not good for the neighborhood?" I asked. "Because," Karen said, "it is wasteful. It uses water. It uses electricity. It is not fair to other people who do not have pools." "I paid for my pool," I said. "I pay for the water. I pay for the electricity. I am not asking anyone else to pay for anything." Karen did not say anything. She just looked at me with an angry face. Then she said, "I am going to check the rules. I am going to check the HOA papers. I think there is a problem here. I will call you." Then Karen turned around and walked out of my yard. But I knew that this was not over. I could feel it in my stomach. I knew that Karen was going to make trouble for me. 1 week later, I got a letter from the HOA. The letter was from Karen. The letter was from the HOA lawyer. The letter was very official. The letter was written in very big words. The letter said that I was breaking the HOA rules. The letter said that the pool was a violation. The letter said that I had to do something about the pool. I was very worried. I called my lawyer, Robert Thompson. Robert was a lawyer who knew about property and houses. Robert had helped me when I bought my house. I trusted Robert. I told Robert everything that Karen said. I gave Robert the letter from the HOA lawyer. I gave Robert the deed to my house. I gave Robert the papers about the pool. Robert read everything very carefully. Robert took a long time. Then Robert said, "Michael, do not worry. You are okay. The pool is your property. You own the pool. You bought the pool. You paid for the pool. You have all the papers that prove this. Karen is wrong. The HOA is wrong. The HOA lawyer is wrong. Are you sure?" I asked. "Yes, I am sure," Robert said. "Listen, the HOA has rules, but the rules do not say that you need permission for a pool. The rules say that you need permission for things like adding a room to your house or building a garage. But a pool is different. A pool is something you put in your yard. The HOA does not have any rule that says you cannot have a pool in your yard. So what should I do?" I asked. "Write a letter back to them," Robert said. "Tell them that you own the pool. Tell them that you have papers that prove you own the pool. Tell them that you did not break any rules. Tell them to stop bothering you. Tell them that if they continue, you will take them to court. Will they listen?" I asked. "Maybe, maybe not," Robert said. "But they will know that you are serious. They will know that you have a lawyer. They will know that you are not going to be pushed around easily." I wrote a letter to Karen and the HOA lawyer. I wrote that the pool is my property. I wrote that I have papers that prove I own the pool. I wrote that I did not need permission from the HOA. I wrote that the HOA is wrong. I wrote that if they continue, I will take them to court. Robert helped me write the letter. Robert made sure the letter was correct. Then I sent the letter. I sent it by regular mail and by email. I wanted to make sure they got it. 2 weeks later, Karen called a big HOA meeting. Karen said she wanted to talk about property disputes. She sent letters to all the people in the neighborhood. She said everyone should come to the meeting. She said it was very important. The meeting was at the community center on a Thursday night. The community center is a big building with a lot of rooms. There was a big room for meetings. There were chairs in rows. There was a table in the front. Karen sat at the table. Next to Karen were 2 other HOA people. One was a man named Paul. One was a woman named Lisa. They were on the HOA board. They were going to help Karen run the meeting. I sat in the audience. Next to me was my lawyer Robert. Robert was very smart. Robert had a suit and a tie. Robert had papers. Robert had a folder with all my documents. The meeting started at 7 o'clock. There were about 60 people in the room. Some people lived near me. Some people did not know me. Everyone came because they wanted to see what the problem was. Karen stood up. She said, "Good evening everyone. Thank you for coming to this meeting. We have a serious problem in our neighborhood. Michael Johnson has a pool in his yard. We believe that this pool belongs to the HOA, not to Michael. We believe that Michael is using HOA property for his own personal use. This is not allowed. Tonight we are going to discuss this problem and decide what to do about it." People started to talk. Some people had questions. Some people did not understand. Some people wanted to know why this was such a big problem. Karen said, "I have checked the HOA papers. I have checked the neighborhood maps. I believe that the pool is on HOA land, not on Michael's land. I believe that Michael's property line does not include where the pool is. I believe the pool is in a common area." I could not believe what I was hearing. This was not true. The pool was in my yard. The pool was behind my fence. The pool was on my property. I had the deed. I had the papers. Robert stood up. He said, "I am Michael Johnson's lawyer. I want to say something. Michael owns this pool. Michael bought this pool with his own money. Michael has the deed to his property. Michael's property includes where the pool is. The pool is not HOA property. The pool is Michael's personal property." Robert held up the deed. He showed it to everyone. He said, "Look at this. This is the deed to Michael's house. The deed says that Michael's property is 1/4 acre. The deed shows the exact boundaries of Michael's property. The pool is within these boundaries. The pool is on Michael's property." Karen looked angry. She said, "That deed is old. The HOA has new information. We have checked the land survey. We have checked the HOA papers. We believe there is an error in the deed." "An error?" Robert said. "An error in the deed?" "The deed was made by a professional surveyor. The deed was recorded with the county. The deed is a legal document. You cannot just say there is an error because you want there to be an error." People in the audience started to talk. They were confused. They did not understand why Karen was saying the pool was not Michael's. A woman in the audience raised her hand. Her name was Susan Williams. She lived near me. She said, "Karen, I do not understand. Michael's pool is in Michael's yard. Michael's yard is behind Michael's fence. It is very clear that the pool is Michael's. Why are you saying it is the HOA's pool?" Karen said, "Because I think Michael is being dishonest. I think Michael built the pool without permission. I think Michael is breaking the rules." "But even if Michael needed permission, and he did not get it," Robert said, "that does not make the pool the HOA's property. That means Michael would have to take the pool down. It does not mean the HOA gets to take the pool. It does not mean the HOA owns the pool. We have decided that the pool belongs to the HOA," Karen said. "The HOA will take control of the pool. The HOA will own the pool. The HOA will decide what to do with the pool." "You cannot do that," Robert said. "That is not legal. That is not allowed. Michael has the papers. Michael has the deed. Michael owns the pool." The meeting was getting very loud. People were shouting. Some people thought Karen was right. Some people thought Robert was right. Some people did not know what to think. Finally, Karen said, "We will have a vote. Everyone who thinks the pool belongs to the HOA, raise your hand." Only 5 people raised their hands. Out of 60 people, only 5 people thought the pool belonged to the HOA. Most people did not agree with Karen. The vote is done, Robert said. Michael keeps his pool. This meeting is over. Karen looked very angry. Her face was red. She was shaking. But the meeting was over. Most people did not agree with her. I thought that this was finally the end of the problem. I was wrong. After the meeting, I thought everything would be okay. I thought Karen would understand that she was wrong. I thought Karen would stop bothering me. But Karen did not give up. Karen kept making trouble for me. First, Karen said that my fence was too tall. She said that the rules said the fence could be 6 feet tall. She said my fence was 6 feet and 1 inch tall. She gave me a letter. She said I had to make the fence smaller or I would be in trouble. I got out my measuring tool. I measured my fence. The fence was exactly 6 feet tall. The fence was not too tall. But I did not want to fight about a fence. I got some people to come and measure the fence with me. They all said the fence was 6 feet tall. I sent Karen a letter with the measurements. The letter showed that the fence was not too tall. Karen did not write back. She did not say that she was sorry. She did not say that she was wrong. Then, a few weeks later, Karen said that the pool equipment was too loud. She said that my pool filter made noise. She said the noise was too loud for the neighborhood. She said that pool filters could only run at certain times. She said I was breaking the rules. But I only ran my pool filter in the morning and in the evening. I did not run it at night. I did not run it in the middle of the day when people were outside. I ran it at times when people would not notice. I sent Karen a letter. I said that I followed all the rules about when I ran my pool filter. I said that I was not making too much noise. Karen did not write back. Then, a few days later, Karen said that I had too many plants in my yard. She said the plants looked messy. She said that yards should be neat and clean. She said that I had to remove some plants or I would be in trouble. I had some flowers. I had some bushes. I had some trees. These were normal things to have in a yard. These were beautiful things. Karen did not like the way my yard looked, so she wanted me to change it. I was getting very tired of Karen. I was getting very angry. I could see what Karen was doing. Karen was trying to make my life hard. Karen was trying to scare me. Karen was trying to make me want to leave the neighborhood. Karen was trying to make me want to get rid of the pool. I talked to Robert about this. Robert said, "Michael, Karen is using a tactic. She is trying to make you so tired and so angry that you will just give up and do what she wants. She will keep sending you letters. She will keep making trouble. She will keep saying you are breaking rules. She knows that most of these things are not true, but she keeps doing it anyway. What should I do?" I asked. "Do not give up," Robert said. "Keep saying no to her. Keep telling her that she is wrong. Do not let her push you around. But Michael, I want you to know, this might get worse before it gets better." "Worse?" I asked. "How much worse can it get?" "Much worse," Robert said. Karen might try to take the pool. Karen might try to take control of the pool. Karen might try to do something very big. I did not like hearing this. But I knew that Robert was telling the truth. It was now August. August is the hottest month. The sun is very hot. The days are very long. Everyone in the neighborhood wanted to have fun. Everyone wanted to swim and to play outside. I was planning a big party. My mother was coming to visit. My father was coming to visit. My sister was coming to visit. My cousins were coming to visit. We were going to have a big party on Saturday. We were going to swim in the pool. We were going to eat good food. We were going to have fun together. I had not seen my family for a long time. I was very excited about this party. Then, on Thursday afternoon, I got a letter from Karen. I opened the letter, and my heart stopped. My hands were shaking. I could not believe what I was reading. The letter said, "To Michael Johnson. This is an official letter from the HOA. The HOA has decided that your pool is HOA property. The HOA has decided to take control of the pool. Starting immediately, you are no longer allowed to use the pool. You are no longer allowed to let your family use the pool. You are no longer allowed to let your friends use the pool. If you use the pool, you will be in violation of the HOA rules. If you continue to use the pool, you will be fined. If you continue to use the pool, you will be removed from the neighborhood." Signed, Karen Martinez, HOA President. I called Robert right away. I was very upset. My voice was shaking. I could barely speak. "Robert," I said, "Karen sent me a letter. Karen says I cannot use my pool anymore. Karen says the pool belongs to the HOA. What should I do?" Robert was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "Michael, this is not legal. Karen cannot just take your pool. Karen has no power to do this. The pool is your property. Your deed says the pool is your property. You have all the papers. Karen is breaking the law. But what if she tries to come to my house?" I asked. "What if she tries to stop me from using the pool? What if she tries to do something?" "She might try," Robert said. "But she will not win." "You are right. She is wrong. If she tries to take your pool, I will take her to court. I will make her pay for what she does." But I was not satisfied. I was very worried. I was worried about my party. I was worried about my family. I was worried about what Karen would do. That night, I could not sleep. I lay in my bed and I thought about Karen. I thought about what she had done. I thought about how she had tried to take my pool. I thought about how she had made my life hard. I thought about how she had sent me mean letters. And then, at 3 o'clock in the morning, I made a decision. I got out of bed. I put on my clothes. I went to the kitchen and I got some water to drink. Then I went outside to the backyard. It was very dark outside. The moon was bright. The stars were bright. Everything was quiet. The only sound was the sound of the water in the pool. The water was very calm. The water was very blue in the moonlight. I looked at the pool. I thought about how much I loved this pool. I thought about how much I paid for this pool. I thought about how much work I had done to maintain this pool. I thought about how many friends and family had swum in this pool. I thought about all the good memories. Then I thought about Karen. I thought about how she wanted to take this pool from me. I thought about how she had no right to do this. I thought about how she had broken the rules. I thought about how she had lied to me. And I made a decision. I decided that I would not let Karen have this pool. I decided that if Karen wanted this pool, she would have to take an empty pool. I decided that I would drain this pool. I decided that I would drain it that night. I decided that I would drain it before Karen could do anything about it. I went to the pool equipment room. I had built a small room next to the pool for the pump and the filter and all the other equipment. I opened the door. I looked at all the equipment. I found the drain valve. This is the thing that lets the water out of the pool. This is the thing that the pool company uses to empty the pool for cleaning. I grabbed the valve. I twisted it. I twisted it very hard. The valve opened. I heard the sound of the water starting to come out. I heard the sound of the water going into the drain pipe. I heard the sound of the water disappearing. I went back and looked at the pool. The water was already starting to move. The level of the water was starting to go down. I could see the white concrete sides of the pool starting to show. I could see where the water had been. I could see how much water was leaving the pool. I stood there and I watched. I watched as the pool got lower and lower. I watched as the water ran and ran and ran. The water was so much water. The water came from the drain and went into the ground. The water spread out over the yard. The water made a big wet spot in my backyard. I stood there for a long time. Maybe 1 hour. Maybe more. I watched as my beautiful pool got empty. I watched as the concrete bottom of the pool started to show. I watched as the deep end and the shallow end both got empty. By the time the sun started to come up, the pool was completely empty. There was no more water. There was just concrete. There was just the bottom of the pool and the sides of the pool. There was just the empty pool that Karen wanted to take. I had done it. I had emptied the pool. I had made Karen's pool empty. I had stopped Karen from taking my pool. I had taken control. I had made my own choice. The sun came up. It was Friday morning. I had not slept. I was tired. But I was also calm. I had made my decision, and I did not regret it. At 9 o'clock in the morning, Karen came to my house. She did not call first. She did not ask if she could come. She just came. She was the HOA president, and she wanted to come to my house, so she came. I was sitting on my porch, drinking coffee, when Karen arrived. She walked through my gate. She looked very confident. She looked like she thought she was going to win. But then Karen walked into my backyard. Karen saw the empty pool. Karen stopped walking. Karen's face changed. Karen's face became very red. Karen looked like she wanted to scream. "What did you do?" Karen shouted. "What did you do to the pool? What have you done?" "I drained it," I said. I was very calm. I was drinking my coffee. "I drained my pool. It is my pool. It is my property. I can do what I want with my property." "You did this on purpose," Karen said. She was shaking. "You did this because of me. You did this to spite me." "Yes," I said. "I did this on purpose. You were trying to take my pool. You were trying to make it your pool. You were trying to take my property. I decided that I would not let you have it. I decided that I would empty it. Now you cannot take it. Now the pool is empty. This is destruction of property," Karen said. "This is illegal. You are going to go to jail. You are going to be in very big trouble." "This is my property," I said. "I can destroy my own property if I want. It is not illegal to destroy your own property. It is not a crime. The law says I can do what I want with my own property." Karen looked at the empty pool. Karen looked at me. Karen looked very angry, but she could not do anything. The pool was empty. There was nothing for Karen to take now. There was nothing for Karen to control now. "You are going to hear from my lawyer," Karen said. "You are going to pay for this. You are going to lose everything. You are going to regret this." "I do not regret this," I said. "I do what I think is right. I have the law on my side. You are wrong. I am right. Send me whatever letters you want to send." Karen left my house. She was very angry, but she left. Karen did send me letters from her lawyer. The lawyer sent many letters. The lawyer said that I had damaged HOA property. The lawyer said that I had to pay for the damage. The lawyer said that I had violated the HOA rules. But everything the lawyer said was not true. The pool was my property. The pool was not HOA property. I did not damage HOA property. I damaged my own property, which was legal. Robert sent letters back to Karen's lawyer. Robert said that the pool was Michael's property. Robert said that Karen had no right to send these letters. Robert said that if the letters did not stop, Robert would take Karen to court. Robert said that Michael would win in court, and Karen would have to pay a lot of money. For 2 months, the letters went back and forth. Karen's lawyer would send a letter. Robert would send a letter back. Karen's lawyer would send another letter. Robert would send another letter back. But gradually, the letters became less mean. The lawyer's letters became shorter. The lawyer said less and less. Finally, in October, the lawyer sent a letter that said Karen would drop the case. Karen would stop trying to take the pool. Karen would not send any more letters. I think Karen's lawyer told her that she was wrong. I think the lawyer told Karen that she was not going to win. I think the lawyer told Karen that she had spent a lot of money on lawyers for nothing. I think the lawyer told Karen to stop. My family never came for the party that weekend. I called them the morning after I drained the pool. I told them that the pool was empty. They asked me why. I did not want to tell them the whole story. I just said that I was having some trouble with the HOA, and I would fix it later. They understood. Family always understands. By November, I had the pool filled again. I called a company and they came and filled the pool with water. It took them many hours. The water came into the pool. The pool got full. The water was blue and clean again. My family came the next weekend, after the pool was full. We had our party. We swam in the pool. We ate good food. We had fun. It was a wonderful party. It was everything I wanted. Karen did not try to take the pool anymore. Maybe she learned a lesson. Maybe she learned that she cannot just take things that do not belong to her. Maybe she learned that you have to respect other people's property. Maybe she learned that there are consequences when you try to do wrong things. This happened 2 years ago. It is now August again. 2 years have passed. Karen is still the HOA president. She did not lose her job. She is still in charge of the HOA. But she is different now. She is not as mean as she was. She does not send as many mean letters. She does not bother people as much as she did before. I have not had any trouble with Karen for 2 years. She does not say anything about my pool. She does not say anything about my fence. She does not say anything about my plants. She leaves me alone. Other people in the neighborhood said that Karen became nicer after what happened with me. They said that Karen learned that she cannot just push people around. They said that Karen learned that some people will stand up to her. They said that Karen is still strict, but she is fair now. I do not know if this is true. I just know that Karen does not bother me anymore. What did I learn from this? I learned many things. First, I learned that you have to know your rights. I had to know that the pool was my property. I had to know that I bought the pool. I had to know that I had papers that proved I owned the pool. If I did not know my rights, Karen would have taken my pool. Second, I learned that you have to stand up for yourself. I could have just given up. I could have just taken the pool down. But I did not. I stood up to Karen. I said no. I said that she was wrong. I did not let her push me around. Third, I learned that you have to have a good lawyer. Robert was a very good lawyer. Robert helped me. Robert knew the law. Robert knew that I was right. If I did not have a good lawyer, Karen might have one. Fourth, I learned that you have to do big things sometimes to stop people from doing wrong things. I drained the pool. This was a big action. This was an action that showed Karen that I was serious. This was an action that showed Karen that I would not let her take my pool. Would I do the same thing again? I do not know. Maybe not. Maybe I would do something different. But at that time, in that moment, emptying the pool felt like the right thing to do. It felt like the only way to stop Karen. The pool is still there. It is still full of water. It is still blue and beautiful. My family and friends still come and swim in it. Karen still lives in her big white house with black shutters. But she does not bother me about the pool anymore. And that is the end of my story about the HOA Karen who claimed my pool as hers, and how I emptied it the night before.